It is August the 11th, 2021. I'm Andy, and this is the Minorcan Mullet Report from the Golden Ray Wreck Site in the St.simons Sound. And we got out today, and first thing we noticed was the blue grapple was in operation, and we could see that weight shedding activity taking place. They were moving cars off of the section number 6 and placing them on the barge. Glad to see that happening, because the quicker they can get the weight off of it, the quicker they're going to be able to get that section lifted on up and onto the dry dock section. Well, we made it around, and from what the radio chatter we could pick up, it sounded like they had 62 cars on the barge. So that is wonderful news. And even better news than that was, as soon as the full barge departed, another barge, empty, was on its way in. So the guys are anxious to get this project moving along, and really seem to have things coordinated today to make all that happen. You know, the environmental barrier has to be opened for all this to take place, and they're using the south gate for this activity. And you got to think this is kind of tight quarters, because they're maneuvering between the existing wreck sections that are still in place and the VB 10,000 that's holding section 6. So a lot of careful choreography going on there, moving the tugs in and out, and it was pretty busy, and we got a lot of it today. If you guys like watching tugboats, you're going to really enjoy today's video. It's full of it. Well, the first thing we saw was the Luann Gildry. Kind of saw her on her way out of the wreck site, out of the environmental barrier. We could see her kind of coming across, headed for the south gate. So we got over and we got a little view of that. And she made her way through the gate. Now, the really interesting thing today was the gate itself was being held open by one of the bear cubs. And we've got some video of that coming up, and they were holding it in place right here, just holding it in place. And keep in mind, this is right at high tide, so they didn't have a tremendous amount of current running, but had the bear cub up, and it's basically just holding the door open for all this traffic, the musical chair traffic with the tugboats that took place. And we just happened to be out there at the right time to catch all this. And all this activity took place inside of a 30-minute window. A lot of things happening. A lot of things happening in specific order, and it was just very well done. It's almost like watching a dance, if you will. It wasn't long after we saw the Luann Gildry act coming out that we saw the Caitlin coming out with the barge that they had been loading with cars from section 6. And we stayed with the Caitlin and got some pretty good video of her taking the barge on around to the mooring and tying up to the other barges. Now, as the Caitlin was getting tied up to the barges over on the mooring, the Crosby Star was on her way into the environmental barrier with the empty barge, making her way back around to section 6 at the VB 10,000 so it could get in there alongside the grapple loader, and they could start loading this barge. Now, one thing I'd like for you guys to keep in mind as the Crosby Star is maneuvering back around between the existing wreck that's still in the water in section 6 that where the VB has suspended is, the VB is held in place by a system of anchor lines that come out to several different points out inside that environmental barrier as well as outside of the environmental barrier. And watch how this tugboat just maneuvers its way right around there and gets right into place. Just really, really delicate operational skills necessary to move this barge in here, and these guys really make it look easy. And you see after the Star gets through the south gate, the Bear Cub begins to right away close the south gate behind her as she makes her way into the environmental barrier. And I guess if there's one thing we just really got excited about today was seeing the Kurt J. Crosby out on the site. Usually when we see the Kurt J. Crosby out on the site, it means that they're getting close to being ready to move a section. And we're just taking that from the history of what we've seen. And today we saw the Kurt J. Crosby back on the site. So hopefully we're getting real close to seeing the section move. I just want to thank everybody for bearing with me today. It's not my best day today, as we're just recovering from our visit to the dentist, but we would like to thank you guys for taking time out to watch the video. We're going to ask, if you haven't done it yet, to click on that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, let them know you like us, keep the comments coming, and most of all, we want you guys to stay safe out there.